Hi, after making my first video, I received several requests for a video from people wanting to know what I put in all my books that's in my Traveler's Notebook, or TN for short. At the same time, some of my friends who have never kept a travel journal, or a journal for that matter, were asking me how I document my travels. So on this video, I'd like to combine the two topics. I'll give you a quick overview of what I write in each book, and we'll also give a more thorough flip through of the book that I keep specifically to document trips/events. But before I talk about that, I'd like to give you a little background information on how I came to use the field note size, which to me is really the ideal size, not only for travel, but also on an everyday carry. In fact, I just last week moved everything into this field note size Traveler's Notebook, which I'm now using as a planner, a journal, and a wallet because I would really like to see if I can live with having everything in just one notebook instead of several. I was carrying in my purse both the Midori and the field note size, and it really got heavy, so I'm putting this through the test to see if it will work out for me. So back to how I came to using field notes. This past December, my family and I went on a 3-week trip to Europe, and right before the trip, I happened to discover the Midori Traveler's Notebook. On my trips in the past, I've always brought a journal with me with the intention of journaling as I'm traveling, and that's all it's ever panned out to be actually, is an intention, because generally the journals I brought with me on the trips were not convenient to carry around, because either it was too heavy or the size, it was too big. So though I was always faithful to bring a journal during my trips, it basically stayed in my luggage at the hotel. Now, I still collected all the memorabilia along the way, thinking I'd journal and sort through all that once I'm back home again, but usually it all would just end up in plastic bags and it sits untouched. I'm sure many of you have plastic bags of your own, so you can probably relate. So when my Midori came in, I was super excited to take it on our vacation to Europe. The Midori worked out great at first because compared to my other journals in the past, it was smaller, it weighed less, and it fit in my hand really well. During the long journey from California to Europe, I was able to do some journaling right on the spot. I journal on the plane, during the layover, while waiting for food at the restaurant. It was great. I loved it. But then as we're into our vacation and time went on, we began to do a lot of walking and sightseeing and riding trains. So my Midori started to become heavy and cumbersome to carry around. So fortunately, I found a stationery store in Paris called Midori. And by the way, if you ever find yourself in Paris, you really must go there. It's a wonderful store. I loved it. Anyway, at Mercy, they sold Midori, so I picked up a passport size, one which is quite a bit smaller than the classic Midori, as you can see here. Now, that worked out great too, and I was able to use it for journaling on the spot while sightseeing. It was easy to whip out, and it fit in my pocket, my jacket pocket, and so the classic size Midori stayed in the hotel. But once we got back to the hotel, I would tear out pages from the passport and I'd glue them onto the pages along with the collected memorabilia to the larger Midori, which is in here. As I said, at first it worked out great, but as you can imagine, after a time, all that journaling, and I'll show you here, I journal a lot. All that journaling, all that gluing became a chore. There were days when I just didn't have time or was just too tired to get it all done, so I'd fall behind. During those times, I would skip pages, figuring that I could go back in one day and fill it back up what was missing. But, well, that got confusing and it made me have to think too much when I was supposed to be vacationing. So when I returned back to the States, I began to do some research and to try to find out more simplified way of documenting my future trips. Here's some of those pages. Again, empty pages, because I would figure I'd need at least one page to say what I'm going to say, and then I never did, because I didn't do it right on the spot. One of the things I did not like about the passport is that it was a little too small for journaling. Yes, it fits in my hands nicely, but because I tend to write a lot, I wanted something with a little bit more writing space, and that's where the field notes came in, which is these ones right here. I don't exactly remember how I discovered it. I'm sure it was on Instagram, but Anyway, once I did, I really wanted to try it out to see if I can use it not only for my travels, but for my everyday journaling as well. Several things I like about it is that it's a little bigger, which you'll see here, the difference in size, but not too big that it's heavy and cumbersome to carry around. It also comes in different cover designs, which fulfills, frankly, my need for change. And the paper is very nice to write on. Oh, and also the amount of pages that it has per book, I really like it because to me, it's just the right amount of pages to help me fill it up in a fairly short amount of time, which gives me a constant feeling of accomplishment. Now, as I researched, I came across a website that had an article titled How to Make Travel Journaling Easy by Journaling Sage, which is her blog as well as her Instagram name. I'll provide the links at the bottom. She writes a lot of great articles, so be sure to check out her blog. Some of the things I currently use, I gleaned from her articles. Now that you have some background information, let me quickly go over the different books in my TN, then I'll focus more on the travel book. My first book is my journal. As most of you know what a journal is, you write about your daily things that happen in your life, and that's exactly what I do here. Again, it's a small book, so I finished these off pretty quickly. My first book for journaling, I finished in 16 days, and my second one in 14 days. It was great. I loved it. Now, the other one book that's in here is the calendar. This I got from Yellow Paperhouse. It's really nice. It started in April, which is this month right now. And the first, you come across the monthly overview of the dates. And in here, you go more into the weeklies. So I love that. It's great. It works out well for me. And frankly, if there wasn't in the market a calendar like this to fit in here, I wouldn't be able to really use this as for everything because the dates are really important to me. I don't remember anything unless it's written down. My other book in here are journal prompts, and basically these are prompts. I actually get this from Journaling Sage as well. On her Instagram, she posts every day some journal prompts, and basically they're just questions and something for you to write on, and that's what I do. I use this Midori bookmark to highlight some of the words for the prompts. It's just an exercise that you can do every day, or you can do some of the prompts ahead of time and then go back to it when you have time or whatever. And so I try to do it every day, but some days it doesn't happen. My next book is basically a random book where I put basically a catch-all for everything I need to remember or want to remember, or just notes for meetings and such. So I'll go through that real quick. In here, when I was designing the leather notebook, I needed measurements, and so I drew it up and I wrote measurements, wanted to put what things I needed to put in there and include and that type of thing. So those are my notes. I went to a special screening for a show that's currently on NBC called AD, The Bible Continues, which is actually a fairly good show. I was really impressed when I saw that first segment. Anyway, and I wrote about it here. My husband's business coach was in town and we went to dinner with him, and so those are some of the notes that I took. I was at a missions meeting, notes for that. Went to the vet, more drawings. And I tried using this as a bullet journaling as well. It's not complete. I don't have my index in here. Once this booklet is done, I will probably put another booklet in here and do a more thorough bullet journaling. This is an envelope that I got from Baum Kuchen. And basically you could just put memorabilia in there. I just chose to put one of my business cards and a part of a tea packet. This is the plastic that's also a Midori, and that is, on the other side is the zip pocket. Many of you are familiar with this. This is where I put my wallet and my change and my money. So it's great, it works well for that. Oh, and I wanted to show you this also. These you can get, they are Midori as well. I will give you Baumkuchen's information down below. These are tabs that I really, really like, and I saw this as a hint on Instagram. Again, I can't remember who it was, but anyway, sometimes it comes off easily when it starts getting loose. So you just basically put washi tape. Works out great. Okay, so that's what I have in here, and also now my short trips and events book. So let me go over this last book with you. When I began this last book, I wasn't due to go on any extended trip anytime soon. But because I wanted to try the quick method that Journaling Sage's article talked about, I decided to do a short trip / event book. The first event that I put in here is when I visited my daughters in college. One of the things I've always done everywhere I go is I collected business cards, pamphlets, flyers, whatever is available. With this quick method of documenting, you do the same exact thing, collect things from the places you visit. But rather than writing a long journal entry, you write short ones, just enough to jog your memory once you go back and look at the page. So that's what I did. And many times I'd adhere whatever I collected in my journal, even before I left the place where I was visiting. So right here, I visited the library and then we went to a play, and I just put that in here really quick. Did a quick details of what, I don't know, what does it say? Anyway, I wrote a quick description. And if I really have any more to say, which I generally do because I am a journaler and a documenter, I put it in another book, which is my journal. So that will work out the same way when you go on vacations. Bring 2 books, one for the memorabilia you collect, and the other one for more detailed information of what you thought of the places that you went to and what your day was like and things like that. We went to different places that weekend, and these are some of the places. Again, quick, just wrote about it really quick, where I stayed and things like that. Here we went to their church. I wrote this when I got back home, but I probably did paste this down while we were there, and I'll show you how I'm able to do that easily. Again, more places that we visited. Pictures, which I would print when I got home from whatever trip I was on. Sometimes what I would do is I would write in back of the business cards itself some information. Not here. I don't show an example of that, but anyway, a lot of times I would write it right in back of the business card. Things like what I thought about the place, maybe what I ate, the ambience, what it was like. And if I don't get a chance to adhere it right there on the spot, I did it when I got into the car. And of course, someone else is driving, but once I get into the car, I will start writing really briefly and adhere it on there. And then if it doesn't work out that way, I do it at the hotel or wherever I'm staying later on that night. And again, it only takes about 5 minutes. You just need a quick description. We went to Baumkuchen for a workshop with Daily Row. It was great. We had a good time, and this was the group that was there. Las Vegas, a quick trip because there was a trade show my husband wanted to go to last minute. So I taped information from the hotel. This was the last day at Las Vegas, and they didn't have business cards, so I took a napkin, and that's what I pasted down on here, and what I drank that morning for tea. Again, very short, but in my actual journal, I journaled more about it, what it was about, why we went there, and all of that. But again, it's just simple. You just do it really quickly. Went to an Angels game. This is a group, my daughter's friends. We met them up over there, and so that's it. So it's really quick and easy. and very doable. Now, one of the things I'm able to do this really quickly is because rather than bringing a glue dispenser that can be bulky everywhere I go, I instead use washi. I'm sure many of you know what washi is, but in case you don't, washi is simply tape like a Scotch tape, except that it comes in different designs. And it's repositionable, which is really great. And all you have to do is take it, open it, roll some out, rip it, and just adhere it right on the page. It's great. You can just take it off and put it in another place if you want. So it's really fun. You could end up collecting a lot of these washis, but it gives a little bit of a design element on your page, and it's a quick way to get your memorabilia on your pages. Now, what you can do too with the washi is basically, a lot of people do this, is they take the washi and wrap it around old, used up cards, like gift cards. And then what you can do is you could take it and you could put it right in one of your pockets in here, or you could just slip it in one of the books, and it's voila, you have washi with you, and it's easy. You can just paste things away. So instead of carrying a bunch of rolled washi tape, use that instead, the gift card, a used one of course, and then you're able to just journal on the go. So basically the key is to make it simple, and you want to make it simple enough that you are able to document life as it happens. That's actually one of my taglines for my photography business, which is how I view journaling as well. Document life as it happens. I hope that all of this helps you. If you have any questions or have ideas you would like to share on things you've done in regards to documenting your travels, or anything for that matter, please feel free to comment below or direct message me on Instagram at RetroTours. That's RetroWTURES. Thank you and see you soon. Bye.